I would do kind of a lo-fi type video where I just catch up with you guys and summarize what's been going on in my life and just try to get back into the groove of filming consistently again. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Maddie. I am a nurse. I've been a nurse for about 2 years, and I love creating content for other nurses, nursing students, and just healthcare workers in general. I do a lot of like informational videos, and at the same time I'll vlog and document my life's journey as a nurse, just to kind of keep it real for people and inspirational. So if you found me, I'm so glad, and if you like my channel, don't forget to hit the like button on this video and subscribe for more content if you enjoy the ride. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of get into it. Basically, my plan for this video is I've got my makeup set up, and I'm gonna do kind of a chatty sort of get ready with me vlog. That way I can catch you guys up on where I've been, why I haven't posted in a while, what I plan to post and create, and just what I'm doing at my job at the same time. And hopefully I will have some better quality videos to follow, but I just want to catch you guys up first and yeah, just check in with everyone. Get into that. So other than my eyebrows, this is probably the most barefaced I've ever been on camera. For those of you who've known me a while, I have struggled with acne for a long time, and this is probably the best it's looked in a long time. And it's taken me 10 years to figure out how to get to the place that I am now without taking medicine. So if you guys want kind of like a little documented journey on that, where I talk about what I use, what I do to get my skin to this point, which on this camera and this lighting, you can see a bit more of the texture, but I'm here to be real, honest, and raw. But if you guys do want a video like that, and kind of a little bit with my nursing perspective and what I've researched, how I've interacted with dermatologists and the OBGYN and stuff, to kind of advocate for myself but get my complexion to this place, let me know and I'll film something like that. But yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of go through what I have and see how good I am at multitasking. The first thing I'm going to use is a primer, and I haven't used a primer in a while, but I got a little tester one from Sephora at one point by Rare Beauty, and I've been loving all of Selena Gomez's products so far. So I liked the little tester that came, and so I have her primer. This one is the Always an Optimist Illuminating Primer. Just realized that I wanted the pore diffusing primer, but that's okay because we're just gonna be glowy today, and most of her products are very clean, which is what I like about her. So where have I been? I have been doing a lot more work, being a lot more involved. You guys also saw about a month ago I posted a video on what it was like to be a flight nurse. Granted, I am not a flight nurse, but I have started looking into that avenue. And so like with anything I've done in the past, I always go and I shadow first to get a real insider's view of what it's like. So I went and I shadowed some flight nurses. So I had been talking about wanting to be a flight nurse for honestly years, even when I was in nursing school. And this is my foundation that I'm going to use. You guys have seen this before. And has anybody else had trouble with it leaking, even though it's like sealed well and I've cleaned the bottle multiple times? I just have to keep it in the box to keep it from like getting the rest of my makeup dirty. Anyways, I went and I shadowed, and to my surprise, I absolutely loved it. It was thrilling. It was hardcore. I met a female flight nurse who's been doing it for 25 years. She's their most senior flight nurse, which was a huge inspiration to me. She was so badass. And I just enjoyed the whole time. It's kind of like if you've ever been on a rapid response team as an ICU nurse or an ER nurse, it's kind of like being on a rapid response, except you're going to car crash scenes, trauma scenes, other hospitals. You might have cases that are a little bit more mild, and yeah, anyways, it just you don't know what you're actually getting yourself into until you're there, and you have to do quick assessments, move fast. You do have a partner, which is either a paramedic or another flight nurse. So that made me feel better in terms of like, could I do this? Because you always have someone to bounce ideas off. You're never alone. And yeah, basically the flight crews were awesome, and the flight nurse that I shadowed specifically said, you know, you have a good flight crew when you don't know who's who between the pilot and the paramedic and the RN. If everybody is thinking on the same level and you don't know who's who, then you have a fantastic team. And that's exactly how they worked. So since then, I have been inspired and talking to my husband about making that feasible. Even though the PACU is considered a critical care area, it is not frequently critical care, and I don't see all the things that I would, like I did on my last job in the cardiac ICU. So we've talked about maybe easing back into ICU part-time, making sure I don't get overwhelmed, maybe doing it as a PRN position. And my biggest goal is to never overload myself, but to not stop myself from exploring if I feel called to do something differently. Of course, I'm gonna have to pray about it too. But anyways, I'm gonna go wash my hands so I can continue. Okay, I am back. So all that being said, I am basically going to just take my time, look into some ICU positions. I probably won't apply until next year, just to make sure I can get through the holiday seasons and not jip my family on time spent with them over the holiday season, and just take it one step at a time and continue to pray about it. And part of those steps is, I'm going to make a video about this too and how I'm studying, but I'm going to take the CCRN exam, which is basically an exam for critical care nurses. I have worked with just enough ICU patients in the PACU that I still qualified in terms of hours and years of experience to take my CCRN exam. So I've already applied for it, which freaks me out because I haven't taken an exam in like 2 years. The last exam I took was the NCLEX, and so of course my test anxiety is pretty high. My facility will pay for the exam if I pass, and it was kind of a hefty price, so I'm praying that that goes over well. And just so you guys know, the blush that I'm using is this Rare Beauty blush. And I always put that on and then have concealer next in case I put on a little too much. So this one is just a Fit Me concealer by Maybelline. I've used it since I was in high school. And this is the shade 22 because it's a nice in-between shade for when I've tanned my face or not. I'm pale. So anyways, all that being said, I'm going to take the CCRN exam, so I am 1, a better candidate when I apply to an ICU, and 2, I'm a better candidate if I ever apply to be a flight nurse. Plus, it's giving me the chance, this is a Hailey Bieber trick, by the way, where you kind of sculpt the sides. Plus, it gives me the chance to kind of review and refresh like true ICU critical thinking skills by studying, so I don't feel like I'm jumping back in and I'm rusty. And I did just clean this, so that's the best I can get it clean. I try to clean my beauty blender frequently so that I don't have any breakouts. And then I'll probably apply to take my CFRN, which is a certified flight nurse exam. And the reason I'm going to take that is because 1, you have to have it within a year of becoming a flight nurse with the area that I'm looking at applying to in the future. And 2, it would just take one more thing off my plate. And 3, again, my facility will pay for any certifications that I get, so it doesn't hurt for me to get that and just have it. So yeah, and then I have to have at least another 1 to 2 years of experience in the ICU. 1 would be minimum, but if I'm not going to work full-time for another year, I'm just going to ease into it, then it's probably going to take me 2 years. So all that to say, that is where I'm headed right now, but I don't know if I'm going to stay on that track depending on what happens, how applications go, how finding a job goes, how how taking this CCR exam goes, how praying goes. So that is just my current course. I'm taking it slow. I'm not jumping into anything. I'm not making any like fast decisions. So that makes me feel better. And I think it makes my husband feel better too, because there was a lot of anxiety from the ICU, and I will admit fully that I am in therapy for it now, because let's not forget that I started being a nurse in the ICU on night shift. I got asked to charge really early on, like 6 months after I was off orientation, and the pandemic was happening. So that was a lot to handle, and I want to make sure that I'm not overdoing it. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Another Fit Me Maybelline. I just started trying this one. This one's in shade 20 because it's a light medium color. And this powder got really high review on Yuka, which is my clean beauty app that I use to make sure I'm not buying something with a bunch of crap in it that's gonna disrupt my hormones. And I just mostly focus on my T-zone. So what did I cover? I covered shadowing for flight nurse, taking the CCRN exam, potentially going back to the ICU. And here's the other big update is I just started, if you follow me on my Instagram channel, you'll see that I just started charging at my current job. So far I like it. It can be stressful. A lot of people think that charging in PACU is more stressful than charging in the ICU, because in the ICU you're more of a resource, and there's only so many like patient to nurse decisions that you can make because you don't have as much influx. Whereas in the PACU, we do upwards like 40 cases in a day with 8 to 9 RNs. So you're constantly making assignments, constantly trying to make sure you have enough staff, constantly trying to make sure the patients get turned over so you don't ever have to put the OR on hold, because that's a big fat no-no. If you're once in a blue moon, it happens if everyone's really tight and things are just not working. But it can be stressful. And someone put it in a great way. It's basically like air traffic control. So my thing is, you're still a resource in PACU as a charge nurse, but I'm surrounded by so many other in charge people, and I'm on days and I have a lot of experience around me that I feel less anxious being a PACU charge than I do an ICU charge nurse, because in the ICU, there's so much to know. I feel like it would have taken me at least 5 years to kind of have all the answers and to be confident enough to be a charge nurse, whereas here in PACU, I don't have any trouble making decisions and figuring out who's better for which patient, you know, when can this patient go next door and get discharged, talking to the bed placement people and making sure that we have beds inpatient, which is a whole struggle I'm not even gonna get into. For some reason, it's kind of like playing Tetris and again, being like air traffic control. And I like that for some reason. I would rather make a lot of decisions like that throughout the day than I would running a rapid response and being like the major resource on an ICU, at least at this time. I want to grow into that, and I want to get back into rapid responses and becoming confident with them, because I think that would be most helpful in my current journey. But because I have the opportunity to charge and throw that on my resume and take a break from being a staff nurse and like be a resource with, which I just love doing. It's a period of growth, and I'm only a relief charge. I don't want to do it frequently because again, I'm trying to learn and not overwhelm myself and be smart about everything. So really I'm only doing it like once or twice a month, which is the perfect amount for me. And I'm really liking it. I'm enjoying it so far. I might change my mind if things get really crazy at some point. The product I just used was this Rare Beauty Illuminator. So I used Rare Beauty Illuminator, their blush, and her primer. And then I'm gonna use this NYX Jumbo pencil. I don't even know what color it is. Iced Mocha. So I'm not really doing like the latte makeup, but this is just easy because I can just paste it on, draw it on, and then blend it out. And also I keep getting cystic acne pimples right between my eyebrows. So if anybody knows what that's about, how to get rid of them, let me know. Help a girl out. And then I just blend away. I'm gonna show you guys my makeup in a different light because I promise it looks a whole lot better. And I do have a mirror like right here, you can't see it. And it looks great in this mirror, but here, I don't know what's going on. So, caught you guys up on current, what's going on at work, that I'm charging. Maybe I'll make a vlog just talking about like how charging is going, my feelings about it. I do still get pre-shift anxiety, and I would love to do a video just on pre-shift anxiety at some point in general, because I feel like a lot of people suffer from it, don't talk about it. And I even talked to a nurse that I work with who did ICU for like 15 years. And it took her almost 5 years to not be sitting in the car 30 minutes before a shift feeling like she was gonna throw up before she went in. It's like we love the job itself, but the amount of stress that comes from always making sure that you're doing things legally, making sure you're documenting properly, making sure your license is never on the line, even when all your conditions like staffing and like maybe a physician is being hard to reach and get a hold of or problematic, maybe patient family members are being rude. There's just so much that goes into protecting your own license that I feel like that's where the majority of the stress comes from, and having lack of support and unsafe, just an unsafe environment to practice in, as opposed to the job itself. So we both feel better. Like the staffing here is much better, and I want to make sure that if I ever go back to the ICU, I'm going where the teamwork is great. I do feel like the teamwork that I had was great. We were just short-staffed, and a lot of us were baby nurses who didn't know what we were doing to begin with, and sometimes calling a surgeon at 3 a.m. in the morning was very anxiety-inducing because they didn't want to really answer the phone, or they only gave you 10 seconds to speak and tell them what was wrong. So you had to learn to be precise and detailed and quick. And yeah, so I'm trying to think what else. I can kind of talk about content and what my plans are there. This one is by Well-Be-Peel. This is what I use for my eyebrows. It's the Expressionist Eyebrow Gel. I don't have the little box it came in, but it's a darker color. Oh, here we go. It's just brown. So I love this stuff. It keeps them in place, and it's also a clean product. Highly recommend. And it's cheaper than like, I used Benefit Brow Gel for a while, and that was great. Loved it, but it's actually, this is cheaper than that, and I like it better, and it's cleaner. Next, I'm gonna use my Ilia bronzing powder. This one is Drawn In. And this is the color it is. I used to wear Park Ave Princess by Tarte. That was the best matching color for me. This one's a little bit more, I don't know, like cool tone. No, this one's a little bit more warm tone, and the Benefit one was a little more warm tone, and this is an e.l.f. brush. I love to death. I've had it since college, and I keep it clean, I promise. But, and I think I like the Tarte one better, but this one is talc free, and it's technically better, and it's not that much different, but I kind of want to go back to the other bronzer just because I like it better, and I think I look better in cool toned clothes and colors, as I've come to find out, because even though I tan, I am white as they come. So yeah, so content wise, I have lots of ideas. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I like kind of sticking to informative stuff, but then also documenting my journey so people like never feel alone, almost like it's a journal of like growth, because I looked for stuff like that. I looked for people who were honest around like, oh yeah, I have anxiety about my job, here's how I deal with it, or you know, I learned a new skill today and it made me scared, but here's how I learned and here's how I approached it, or here's how I talked to that physician that I've always had a hard time with, or here's how I document better. Here's how I've grown this year as a nurse and things do get better. And I like that positive but informative and raw type of content. So I want to make more of that for you guys as I go on this journey to be a charge nurse and yeah, all that good stuff. So I will have content on that. I will probably have some how to study for the CCRN exam. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'll probably still document like the day of and like whether I pass or fail, and giving myself grace there, because again, I haven't taken an exam in 2 years, and let you guys know how that goes. But I'll probably document how I'm studying. I kind of want to wait until I pass. That way I can give you guys the actual, like, what I did worked for me, and so I don't know, give you guys the wrong information and be like, why is she sharing this if she hasn't even passed the exam? So I'll probably document the exam and how it's going, but wait until after I pass to do an informative video on how I study, basically. But I would love to do that because I haven't done that in a while, because I haven't been in school in a while. Hard to study. Also, this is a NYX eye pencil in dark brown. That's the color. It kind of shows you on the end. And I'm just going to do a quick little inner corner, elongate my eye, because I have big eyes and I like to make them like just a tiny bit smaller. But I don't want to go all out with like the siren eyes that people are obsessed with. A little more feline-like and smaller, but nothing crazy. Something like that. If you want to see videos like that, please let me know, because I always want to make content for you guys that you guys would enjoy to watch, because it's for you guys. I enjoy documenting things and trying to be helpful for people, but I want to create it for you guys, so I need to know what y'all like. The last thing I'm going to use, because I know I'm going to have yoga later today, and I don't want for some reason my makeup around my eyes bleeds so bad, and it's probably partly because I'm oily and sometimes get watery eyes. So I'm going to use this waterproof one by Great Lash. Gives me memories of high school. This is a brownish black. It's not super strong, but it's just enough. That's my plan content-wise so far. I'll probably do a couple vlogs. My vlogs on just everyday life don't tend to perform super well unless it's specifically geared towards nursing. So I'm trying to get better at my niche for videos, so that way I am producing content that really fits for what you guys specifically are looking for, because I seem to have a very specific subscriber base, and I want to make the right kind of content for you guys and not go all crazy with stuff that y'all aren't even going to be interested in. Just because I'm interested in it doesn't mean that it needs to be shared. Part of the reason I haven't posted anything is, one, I did start counseling just because I knew I went into at some point for anxiety, and my anxiety wasn't bad, but I know that if I want to chase after this new career position, I need to work on my confidence and my anxiety levels and figuring out ways to cope better, because I'm a very logical person when it comes to things, and I can stuff emotions for a really long time because I can think logically, oh, there's no reason to be anxious or worried about this. Here's why. Here's the most likely thing to happen. If this is the worst that could happen, it's still not that bad. But I never let myself feel the emotion. So then the anxiety bubbles up at night or on a random day where I've let it just get too much, and I haven't talked about it out loud with anyone, and I don't want to always dump it on my poor husband, because that's what happened in my last job, and he saw how much I struggled, and so of course he's nervous about me, you know, seeking a new position. So I want to be conscious of that. Plus, I think it's good to go to counseling if you know you need it. All about advocating mental health here. So yeah, so I've been focusing on that, focusing on just being more present in the current moment and taking kind of a break from social media in general. I felt like a lot of the stuff I was consuming was consumerism type content, where I feel like I'm constantly being sold stuff by even the content creators I really love, and I needed a break. But in terms of creating content, I didn't have a lot, so I was creating vlogs that kind of weren't making, you know, they weren't getting a lot of views, and if I want to keep doing this, I kind of have to gear it towards what people are going to watch, so I can actually fund what I do and make things better over time, and afford to post videos like this for you guys. So, but I just didn't have any great content. Now that I'm looking into things. And again, I don't advocate like overdoing things, or if you're comfortable and complacent in life, it's time for the next big challenge. You should learn to be complacent and comfortable, and it's okay if not everything challenges you. Because in my case, I took the time to challenge myself in ways outside of work, like yoga, working out consistently, eating better, being mindful of what we're consuming, spending more time with friends, getting outside more, sleeping better, trying to call family more frequently, and just be very intentional about my time with people. So I wanted to make sure, and like volunteering at church and having a good church community. I want to invest in that before I do anything else career-wise. And I feel like I'm finally getting to a place where those are really great. And now I'm like, hey, I, would like to do something different career-wise. I need something challenging again. And I don't want to go back to school anytime soon, if you feel me. So yeah, I now have things to create content for now that I'm studying, looking at something different, charging, and that's the kind of stuff I'm gonna put out for you guys. So I am basically done. I brushed my teeth, and I'll probably do my lip care off camera real quick. But that is what I do. I'll show you guys in a different light so y'all will believe me that my makeup looks better than it does here on this camera. And that's it, guys. I hope that this ramble type video, catch-up type video was not boring or something uninteresting. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next couple videos where it's a little bit more interesting and informative. So thank you guys for sticking around so much. I just hit 3,000 followers, and I couldn't be more blessed by that. So thank you all for those of you who watch me consistently, and you will definitely see more from me. So, tuto nada, I'll see you later.